Record. Okay. So, thanks for joining at this kind of random time and in the afternoon. I just wanted to put this together as quick as I could because any opportunity to learn and get some insight from an outside source is always beneficial, and especially if it's coming from Beachbody Corporate. I developed a relationship, I guess, several months ago with Joe, just based on the fact that our team is growing really, really quick. We're a brand new team. We're kind of in our own world right now. We're kind of living on our own little Team Heart Island and branching out and developing our own teams. But for the most part, we're new. And so Joe reached out. He's like, okay, so I think that, your team could become an elite team, and let's see what we have to do. And let's put together some strategy and talk about, where the future is going to go. So he and I have had meetings, I'd say every other month or so, going back and forth as to, what we want our future to look like as coaches and where we want this team to go and where we see ourselves. So the other day we were talking and he said, would you like to do a team call? And I was like, are you kidding? Yes, please. Because where we're at right now, we don't necessarily see the big picture. We don't see, far down the line. We don't have an upline as big as my upline, like Michelle. Most of us have never been to a Beachbody event. So we don't really understand or know the culture or see the bigger picture. So I wanted to bring him on to share that and to give us that understanding that, dang, this is pretty amazing. And adding to our team and growing our team is only going to help make it even more amazing. So I'm going to mute myself for once in my life. I'm very excited about that. And unmute this guy right here, Joe, who I'm going to let you do your own introduction so that I don't screw it up.
No, it's all good. I'm so excited to be here. I love talking with Serena. She's super awesome. And I think a lot of times the leader will oftentimes recruit other people that are similar to her. So I'm super excited to be on this call, and I'd love to chat with you guys today. So I'd like to talk to you guys about kind of how I started with Beachbody and what I do. So I'm the associate sales manager over the West region. So I deal with all of the diamonds all the way up through 3 stars. Once you advance to 4-star, you start working with Brittany Adamson. Once you get to 8-star, you start working with Doug Moss. And that's kind of the West region and what we do. And what we do really is we chat with coaches, we help set goals, we share best practices, we help coaches stay accountable to the things they want to do, and really help guide coaches to execute on their goals to really achieve those. So it's really fun to be able to see teams grow and stuff like that. But what I'd like to talk to you guys about really is where the rubber meets the road with this whole coaching opportunity. I don't know about you guys. Have you guys ever felt sometimes like there's a crap load of stuff that you need to do as a Beachbody coach? You guys ever feel that way? We're like, whoa, dude, there's so much stuff I need to focus on. Where do I even need to start? I hope I can kind of simplify it a little bit. Maybe, give you guys a good place to start and some good information. So where it all really boils down to is connecting with other people on a daily basis. And it takes time, right? This whole thing takes time. So when you're doing this inviting process, who knows, can somebody give me like the 3 vital behaviors here? Anybody know what those are? So we got first, you got to be a product of the product, right? So you want to be a product of the product. And then we have, give me some of the other ones, guys. What do we got here? I want to test you guys. Okay, so we got, first, I think being a product of the product is a big deal, right? And then we have personal development, which I think is also a really big deal. Helps you really get your mind in the right place. And one book that I would recommend for you guys is totally simple. It's a fun one. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? It really is going to help you guys get out of your comfort zone a little bit and realize kind of where you're at. And there's a lot of other opportunities out there you may not know about until you start going through the maze of life, right? So Who Moved My Cheese is a fantastic book. And then you have invite. So you want to do a few things first for yourself, and then you want to help other people. So this whole invite process is important. And it's not, they say invite, not necessarily to just add emphasis on inviting, but so, it's a tiered process. First, you just invite somebody to be your friend on Facebook, right? And then you have a conversation with them. And then you invite them to a challenge group, or you invite them to be a coach. It's like this tiered step process. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do, like if you guys are looking at where you're at right now as a Beachbody coach, you're like, okay, I'm here, but I want to be here. What I want you guys to really do is identify, what your desired outcome is, what the, result-oriented goal you have is. Do you want to be a diamond coach? Do you want to be an elite coach? Whatever it is, you identify where you want to go. The sky's the limit. After you've identified what your desired result is, you have to kind of break it up into what I call action-oriented goals. Now, action-oriented goals are more like, they're like the driver. They're like the engine that gets you where you need to go. These action-oriented goals are the things you do on a daily basis. So I'd ask you guys to work with Serena a little bit on this, and maybe share what your result-oriented goal is. If you want to be 2-star, if you want to go to Summit, if you want to go to Punta Cana next year for, next year's Success Club trip, whatever your desired result is, share it with Serena. And Serena's got a kind of a good grasp of what it takes at this point in time. So you're going to want to do is just set up some action-oriented goals that are in alignment with that desired result. Now, as you do that every single day, you're going to get that much closer. Now, I will tell you, it is a process, right? It's not going to happen overnight. How many of you guys has anybody had a transformation through Beachbody here, physical transformation?
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? They all...
I'm seeing Todd shake his head here. Tell me, Todd, what's the scoop on you, bud?
Yeah, listen,
Okay. Hi, how you doing? Thanks for being on the call. We really appreciate it. So my transformation is I'm actually 3 days away from finishing P90X. And I got to say that not only has it changed me in a physical way, but just in an emotional way, in just a business way, it's done so much for me that it's really, really changed my life. I know I sound like an infomercial right now, but it's really so amazing. I tell my wife, who's actually one of Serena's coaches, Zaina Mungie Slingsby, and I tell her all the time that, thank you for bringing Beachbody and P90 and this whole Team Heart into my life, because I'm sleeping better, I feel better, everything is better in my life. So yeah, big transformation.
That's wonderful. And I know Serena's had a freaking amazing transformation as well. Ours is fantastic. So you guys know that you guys know, I'm sure a lot of you have, had amazing transformations as well. But you guys know, as you've done the work on a daily basis, it doesn't come overnight, right? A lot of people, they go to the gym, they'll work out for a week, 2 weeks, and then they look in the mirror and they're like, I'm not, Cindy Crawford, or I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger, or whatever it is, and then they get frustrated and they quit. But it really is one of those things that there's a saying that you reap what you guys know? You reap what you sow, right? So every single day, you've got to be planting seeds. You've got to be connecting with people. You've got to be, having conversations. You got to be friending new people on Facebook. You got to be really connecting. Like I said, that's kind of really where the rubber meets the road on a daily basis. You need to be doing those things. And you need to have patience, because those seeds that you're planting will bear fruit at some point in time. They will come, you'll be rewarded for all the hard work you're putting in. Now you're going to have ebbs and flows in the business. Some months you'll recruit like a boss, and then other months you're like, dude, what is going on? This is a tough month for me. But all you have to do is you really have to have faith that the work that you're putting in is going to pay off at some point in time. And I can promise you in the long run it will. It's just like working out and your whole physical transformation. Sometimes, you're going to look in the mirror and you're like, I'm working my butt off. How come I don't have those abs I want right now? Or you're kind of maybe, take two steps forward, one step back, from time to time. And it's the same way with coaching. But what I will promise you is that as you guys get out there and you make relationships with other people and you really genuinely try to help other people, that's when you're going to start seeing, the results you're looking for. I'll tell you what brought me into Beachbody. I had a friend that worked here at Beachbody, and he said, Joe, I think you'd be awesome at this job. I think it would be fun to have you on board. Why don't you come and work with us? We're hiring right now. And I was like, I don't know. I just got a promotion where I'm at. Like, I'm pretty happy. Been with this company a long time. They've been really good by me. And he's like, just come to a Super Saturday, Joe. Just check it out. And you can decide for yourself if this is something you're interested in. And I didn't know at the time, but he already had me. Like, I was already sold before I even got there. And you know why? Because of people like you. Because of the opportunity you see there makes it real. When you get to these events, if you guys haven't been to a Super Saturday, I'm going to challenge you guys right now. Make the sacrifice to get there, and don't just get there, bring somebody else with you, okay? You're going to be glad you did. You're going to be patting yourself on the back. Because when you get in that environment with a bunch of other coaches that have had phenomenal transformations, it will knock their socks off, and they'll have the same experience I did. They'll be like, okay, I'm in. Because when I got up to Salt Lake, I went to the Salt Lake City Super Saturday. There wasn't a lot of people there, maybe 120 people. And the MC was like, okay, raise your hand if you lost over 30 pounds. And like more than half of the audience raised their hands. And I was like, what? This is crazy. Are you serious? I couldn't believe that there was that many people that had that, amazing results in one place. Subway has one guy that loses 100 pounds and they like made him famous forever. You know what I mean? And he turned out to be like a creeper. But like at Beachbody, like seriously, this one event, like with 120 people, there was one person in that room that had lost over 100 pounds there. I went up to Idaho. We did an event with Sagi Kalev, the guy that did Body Beast, Hammer and Chisel. 400 people in the room. There was 5 people that lost over 100 pounds in that room. And like the results are always consistent. And what I want you guys to really start thinking about as your team is growing, I want you guys to start thinking about who you want on your team, like who the people are that you really want to surround yourself with. Now, Serena's done a great job. One of the reasons why Serena's so successful is because she surrounded herself with good people. And anytime somebody surrounds themselves with good people, they're setting themselves up for success, right? So I want you guys to really think about what your team culture needs to be. Like, who are the people that you're reaching out to? What is the message you're sending to them? You know what I mean? You got to start to identify who those people are, and that will really influence what your team culture is. So some of the things you might want to think about is, what age bracket is this person in? Are they male or female, or does it matter to you? Is it okay if they're either? What do these people like to do? What are their values? What are their beliefs? What are their behaviors? Those behaviors, beliefs, values, those things really are what embody culture, right? So you want to surround yourself with people like you. There's a saying, birds of a feather flock together. And if you get the right people to surround, yourself with, then you're going to be amongst friends and peers and people that want to be around you, and you're going to want to be around them. It's going to be like the synergistic effect, right? So that's definitely something I would want you guys to look into and maybe be mindful of as you're connecting with people on a daily basis. Make sure that you're using your time wisely and connecting with the right people. As you do that, you're going to build people on your team that are, motivated and have similar interests and are going to want to push towards the same things that you're pushing towards yourself. So that's something I definitely ask you guys to look into. One thing that's funny, we talk about, reaping what you sow and planting seeds with people and having conversations and that growth. One thing that's kind of interesting to me is the word culture actually originated with the same word as cultivate. In Latin, they were the same word. They branched off at one point in time. So as you guys are building your team culture, just think about how you can kind of cultivate your team and provide the ideal growing conditions for them to just thrive and bear fruit and really grow as quickly as they can. So anyway, again, huge challenge for you guys to be able to bring somebody with you to a Super Saturday in your area. Are you guys all California peeps over here? Or do we have some other let's see here. Lisa, where are you from? Oh, there you go.
North of Boston.
Oh, Boston. Coast.
Yeah.
How about you, Stacey?
I'm California.
Okay. Well, I'm here in Utah. Like the whole sales team's located here in Utah. There's people all over the country. You know what the cool part is? When we were calling the elite coaches and congratulating them for becoming an elite coach, there was multiple coaches that we called that were over in Europe, and they lived there. Like their husbands play pro basketball or whatever it is, and they're doing their Beachbody business from Europe or wherever they want to do it from. So it's definitely something. The cool thing is we have technology where we can do these Zoom calls, and Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff made it possible for you guys to really do your job anywhere. But if you guys go onto the Coach Online office, go under the FAQ section and look up Super Saturday. You'll be able to find a map that will show you where all the your nearest Super Saturday is going to be. And, you'll be able to look up locations, things like that. I'm pretty sure there should be some, Super Saturday reasonably close to you. If there's not one, another thing that you can do, you can work with us at corporate on getting one started. So reach out, there's not one really close, let us know. We'll give you the tools you need so you guys can start these events and be able to work with other coaches and get things like that happening. So one last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about in regards to your culture of your team. We talked about beliefs, behaviors, values, all those things. One of the behaviors that I think is an important step for your team is hitting Success Club 5. Now, there's multiple reasons why hitting Success Club 5 is so important. First reason is, as you bring people on who are able to hit Success Club 5, they're going to be more or less making their money back. It's going to be even Steven, at that point in time, really. As they make their money back, they're just going to be able to stay active, and their longevity as a coach will be much greater, right? But I'll also tell you this, Beachbody pulls in people who want to help other people, right? If they're not doing anything, if they're not hitting Success Club, if they're not signing challenge packs, they're not recruiting other coaches, what they came to Beachbody to do is not happening, right? It's not being realized. So they're not realizing that potential that they were hoping to realize by coming into Beachbody. So helping them help other people is a big deal. They're going to feel more fulfilled in what they're doing. They're going to feel like they're making a difference. They're going to make their money back for the Shakeology. And guess what? You're going to make more commissions. You're going to also benefit from that as well. So it's definitely a win-win situation. And the wonderful thing about all this is, as people are, doing challenge packs, people are participating, things like that, they're going to have real results, and they're going to have their lives changed in a positive way as well. So I love when Todd was talking. He's like, this sounds like an infomercial, but I'm like, you know what, dude, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with being a product of the product, and you can definitely tell you are, and you're at that point. And helping other people to get there is part of the business. What I will say is there's going to be some haters along the way. There's going to be some people that are like, that guy's always talking about this or whatever. And it's like, you know what? You're helping other people. You kind of have to just hold your chin up high and know that what you're doing is the right thing. And as you've made your journey through Beachbody, they're going to be wishing that they had been on board with you later on as you're going through this whole thing. I mean, believe me, I've seen it many, many times. Serena, is there anything else that you'd like us to talk about today? Anything like we haven't covered?
Just the touch on Summit, since I've actually even never been, because I'm so
okay.
new as well. So, what's Summit all about? What goes down? Why we should all want to be there? I've rented a house, and we've already booked our flights for Zaina and Audrey. But how likely is the wait list, and why you should all be in it?
Okay, so super glad that you brought that up. So Summit is seriously one of the most fantastic events. It is amazing. Last year, there was like 18,000 coaches. We rent out the Titan Football Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. You're standing in the middle of this stadium. You're surrounded with tons and tons of Beachbody coaches. The vibes are just unreal. All the personal trainers are there. And you start to realize what this is all about. what Beachbody is all about. Again, you can kind of see Beachbody's culture just kind of coming out and in full force. And it's really an amazing event. Nashville, even though it's hot and it's humid and everything else, like everybody's having a fantastic time. Like we did the largest group workout in North American history. In fact, I think almost anywhere in the world. Like the biggest workout, we were downtown Nashville in the street. Everybody's doing this workout together. And like I said, some of the other things that are fantastic really are some of the top Beachbody coaches are there doing presentations on how they do their business and how they work and how, they've achieved what they did. And corporate like us, we've started vetting these people out and identifying, okay, like this coach is really amazing at this and this coach is really amazing at that. And, we start trying to figure out ways that they can impart this knowledge to you guys so you can go home, take this and put it into practice with your business. And the cool thing is about it is like, Serena does things her way, Melanie Mitro does things her way. Everybody kind of has like their own style. And as you guys go to Summit, you can kind of see what really resonates with you and your personality and your personal culture, things like that. So you're definitely walking out of that place on cloud 9 because you've got amazing information. You've got, you surrounded yourself with phenomenal people. Like literally there's so much stuff going on that you're sleeping like 4 or 5 hours a night. You know what I mean? Like everybody's so busy. But what I was shocked about is even though everybody was functioning on such little sleep because everybody's like, go, 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 go. It was like the friendliest place I think I've ever been in my life. Like when they say Disney is like the friendliest place on earth or whatever, it's like, no. Like wait till Summit comes around and I think we got them. It is definitely a fantastic experience. Like I said, you really kind of get a feel for what this whole Beachbody thing is truly about. And you do get a glimpse into that every time you go to something like a Super Saturday or every time you go to like a special event where there's like a celebrity trainer that's maybe visiting or something like that. The personal development is heavy and you walk away definitely knowing why you're there. In fact, a lot of the coaches I work with, like that is the deciding moment in their life when they're like, I'm quitting my day job. Like I'm going back, I'm giving my 2-week notice and this is happening. And then they make things work, There's a book in Spanish. I don't even know if it's in English. I read this book in Spanish and it's called It's the Cow's Fault. And there's this farmer that's really wanting to become a rich person, right? And his neighbor's wealthy and he's like, man, I wish I could be like you. You know what I mean? Like you got this great life and I'm here stuck, working on the farm all day long, and he has this milk cow, right? That he sells milk and, all that. And the neighbor said, do you want me to help you? And the farmer's like, yes, please help me. I would love for you to help me. I'm in this, situation where I don't know how to get out of it, So the neighbor shoots the cow, kills it. And then the farmer's like, what did you just do? That's my cow. That's my livelihood. Why did you do that? And basically what happened is, he got mad at the neighbor and but it forced him to make a change in his life. And, a year later, he's found a different job. He's getting paid more money. He has more time to be with his family. And then he goes over and thanks his neighbor because he's like, okay, it was definitely one of those things that I didn't know. I was stuck in the hamster wheel, But I don't know. Summit's one of those events that like your virtual cow can get shot at. Like you'll change your mind. You'll be like, I want to do this. I'm changing my life. But anyway, it's definitely a fantastic event. The energy's high. You really walk away with a lot of great information.
How realistic is the wait list to like come down to?
So here's the other thing that I'd say to you guys. Generally, this is the way it works. I would just plan on going. This is what I would do. I'd plan on going. And the reason why I say that is because there's a ton of people on the wait list, right? If you're not on there yet, get on the wait list. I can almost tell you, though, with almost all, like, I'm pretty confident what will happen is as it gets closer, people start dropping off, right? They're like, oh, life happened. I'm having a baby. I didn't know I was going to have a baby. I won't be able to travel. All those types of things start happening. People start dropping off the wait list. But what everybody else starts to do is they say, oh, shoot, you know what? I wasn't really expecting to come off of the wait list, so now I can't go. And then you just shoot through the wait list really fast because a lot of people get contacted the last month before summit or the last few weeks before summit, but it's too late to make that change, right? So they just shoot through that wait list super, super fast. And what I would do is just make the plan to go right now. You know what I mean? Get on the wait list. If you're not already there, make the plan to go. If you are committed to making it happen, I can pretty much tell you that your odds of getting in there are very, very good, because that's generally the way it works. But if you're not prepared for it and you're on the wait list and they call you, then you'll be like, oh, shoot, now I'm not ready. You know what I mean? So make the determination to go. And if you guys are determined to get there, your chances of going are really high if you're prepared when they call you.
Awesome. Can I ask, Joe, can you dive into life after Diamond?
Yeah.
Like the nitty gritty, like the amazingness of what it means to, obviously get to Diamond. We all have everyone on this call that has those goals, but like, then what? And then what starts to happen?
Okay, so Diamond is a huge milestone for you guys. It's very, very achievable if that's something you guys want to do. Some of the amazing things that will really start to happen is once you become Diamond, some doors get opened up to you. The corporate doors especially will open. So once you become Diamond, you'll get invited to a new Diamond training where we'll cover different things like how to build your team culture, duplication, all sorts of amazing things. Like we'll walk through step by step the elite program with you and kind of help you walk towards that. All sorts of things there. Once you're done with that, also you can participate in mastermind calls through us, where you can really grow, things like that. But honestly, like that's when you're going to really start putting on the leadership mantle as well. Right? You're gonna have a team all of a sudden. You're gonna have other 2 emeralds that you're working with. That hopefully at some point in time will become 1-stars and things like that. So as you grow, there's definitely a lot of really cool things that will happen there. Also, you're gonna max out your ability as well with your cycle bonuses. How much you're getting paid on your cycle bonuses will also go up. So that's definitely something to think about. But what I will tell you, like honestly, as you guys right now are figuring out how to hit Success Club every single month, like remember the steps as you're going through it yourselves. Because as you're going through it yourselves, one of the biggest things that is crucial here at Beachbody is being able to duplicate what you do. So as you are figuring out how to hit Success Club and you're figuring out some of these things along the way, once you get to Diamond, sometimes it's hard to remember. Like when I was a first coach, like how did I feel? Or what did I do? Or what did I know? But as you document all of this stuff and you're growing your businesses, you'll also be able to help other coaches along the way, give them a hand up as they're going through some of the same processes that you guys are going through right now. You'll be able to identify with them better and give them helpful suggestions that will help them grow. But like I said, that's one of the biggest things is really figuring out the duplication piece now and starting to get that stuff dialed in. But yeah, we're definitely here. There's just like, I personally have like 4,000 coaches that I work with. So it's like, I try and work with the coaches that are growing. Like for example, Serena, I reached out to her. I'm like, hey, what's up? I see you've got some stuff going on. I just can't work with every single coach, but if you're growing and you have the desire to work with us, we'll make the time to work with you guys as well.
Awesome. I'm going to unmute you guys. Do you guys have any questions for Joe? Just like, I don't even know if he might have the answer or might not, but might as well just ask anything. I'm going to unmute Katie. Katie, do you have any questions? Katie's like, I am silent.
Everybody's like, whoa.
Hi, I'm like trying to figure out I'm in my car, so multitasking at its best.
So this week, we basically in March, we've had 7 coaches advance in rank, one who's who are going to turn diamond possibly tomorrow. We're like growing at a rapid pace, and we're all trying to get on board with, training simultaneously while hitting Success Club, simultaneously while running challenge groups, and really get like policies and procedures in place so that we're running our business as smart as we can. Are there any other guidance that you can give us as opposed to like?
I would like just be wary about your time management and what you're doing with your Beachbody business, right? If you guys aren't careful, one thing that will happen as your team starts to grow, you can get stuck in this tar pit of like team management.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who will come in through like a challenge group. They'll have amazing results, and they love you and they love Beachbody, but they don't necessarily want to do the Beachbody business. And that can like cause some of the coaches to go crazy because they see all this potential. They're like, you had amazing transformation. You're a phenomenal person. I see the potential, but you're not doing anything. And then you get stuck with this person, and it's very frustrating because you want to like help them be a coach, but they don't necessarily, they're not interested. So what I would say as far as your time is concerned, I'd say you can utilize this little acronym to help you guys out. It's called RSVP. So as you guys are doing your coaching, you want to spend 80% of your time on recruiting, right? 80% of your time needs to be spent on recruiting. After you're done with your recruiting, you want to, make sure you've got your Success Club locked in. At least, I'd say put Success Club 10 as your goal each month, right? So after you've done all of that and you're focusing on that every single day, every single week, every single month, then you can spend time on your team. That extra 20% of the time you have, you spend it on the team. Now, the R is recruiting, so S is your sales, and then V is very new people. So spend your time with your very new coaches. When they come into the business, you want to help them go through Coach Basics, go through your training program, give them the information they need, kind of walk them through everything, right? Because they're going to need a little bit of extra support as they're brand new. Once that process is taken effect, then after that, you're going to spend your time with performers. That's the P. So recruiting, sales, very new people, and performers. Now, who are your performers? These are people who say they're going to do something, they actually do it, right? Like they're going to do their power hour every day, and they actually execute on their power hour every day, and they do it, religiously. These people are performing. These people are actually doing what they say they're going to do, and they're putting skin in the game. So those are the people you're going to want to spend your time with as you're growing. Now, these other people, like who you've brought through Coach Basics and all that stuff, phenomenal. They had good challenge, good results, all that stuff. You just got to be worried that you don't spend too much time of your, with those people if they're not really acting on what they're, what they say they're going to do, and that will happen. You'll have that come up, and sometimes it's difficult to walk that line because they're your buddies, right? They're like cool people. So you just gotta be wary of how you're spending your time as your team is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Because like a Melanie Mitchell, could you imagine if she spent time with every single person that's had good results that's came through her challenge groups? It would just be like, it'd be hundreds of people, you know what I mean? So you got to figure out a way to work through, your time and have time management systems that you can utilize. And as you guys become diamond coaches and you go through our new diamond training, that's definitely one segment we cover, different ways that you can utilize your time most effectively when you're doing your Beachbody business. Because we want you guys to have time with your family. We want you guys to have a life by design where you're actually enjoying your life and you're not just consumed by work, right? Nobody wants that. So anyway, yeah. So hopefully that'll be helpful. And like I said, if there's anything else you guys need as far as like questions, things like that, I'll just let you know as well. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. Send me a Facebook message, or if we're not already friends on Facebook, just request to be friends and we'll get her done.
Awesome.
Jill, I have a question.
Go for it, Lisa.
I'm working full time and I work from home, so I've got this whole working down pat from home. But my problem is trying to manage my job as well as learning this process. And I'm in sales anyway, so I have to try not to be salesy in this position because I'm somewhat salesy in my other one. what would you say is the best procedure in moving forward and not being salesy and also managing that time with the percentage of time to go? Because I haven't done anything yet except for the challenges. I've had great results. I love it, but I feel like I'm that person that's driving Stacy crazy because I'm talking about it, but nothing's happening.
Well, I think, what you can do, honestly, is remember that process through inviting, right? So there's a process that's called CCQ that you can utilize. So that's comment, comment, compliment, question. So you friend somebody on Facebook that's the right type of person that you're looking for. It looks like they might be a great Beachbody coach and has a lot in common with you, right? After you've done that, you comment on their stuff. And then you can give them compliments on what's going on with their family, whatever. It kind of breaks the ice. And it's not just like, hey, you'd be phenomenal being Beachbody coach, and here's why, bam, 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 bam. And then they feel like they're getting sold, right? But if you build this relationship, like a genuine relationship with them, like the compliments you give to them need to be genuine. It can't just be like, contrived, you know what I mean? So as you've kind of built this relationship with them, they're going to feel a lot more at ease with what you're talking about because they know that you've, been involved with them and you know kind of where they're coming from. So I feel like you kind of need to utilize that whole tiered system to get there. And I'll definitely talk with Serena about ways that you can implement your power hour to be able to get that locked in. So there's definite tools out there that you can utilize to get there. It looks like we're almost out of time here. So great question. If there's any other questions you guys have, like I said, just feel free to write me on Facebook. I'd be happy to answer them. So thanks for having me on the call, guys. I appreciate it.
I actually upgraded it, but we're good. I don't know why it wasn't going through. Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks to Joe. If you're not friends with him already on Facebook, I would do that. And let's kick ass the rest of March. We've got lots of contests in place and you guys are doing awesome. So have a wonderful evening. Have a great afternoon. And I'll hit record and post this all on our page to share with the rest of our peeps.
All righty, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Bye. Thank you.